Starting with that UTSA game, kind of a back and forth game, close game. You guys were able to come out on top. Talk about that game just to start off.
Yeah, a lot of innings played, a lot of close innings played since then. But yeah, found a way to win down there on the road. Excuse me, 4-3. UTSA is I think I mentioned it last week, very talented group, tough-minded group. So to go down there and win, I felt on a Tuesday was a solid win for our program. Miller had a big, home run there. I think that put us up and gave us enough. Caden McCarty came in, closed the door with the save. So I think that was a great way to start our week on the road. At an American school. Proud of the guys to start the week right there, and that was our first of, I guess, 3 one-run games over the week.
And going into that weekend, the bats kind of woke up, and still close games, but being able to come out of that WAC matchup with 2 out of 3, less than stellar weather. Kind of talk about the resiliency your team showed.
Yeah, proud of them. The last 2 weeks, we've opened up conference and we've lost on Friday night. So sometimes when it's a 3-game series, you try to play each day as its own. But man, when you lose on Friday night, it just doesn't give you really any margin the rest of the weekend. So after basically giving one up on Friday here at home. Unusual weather. We hit 4 home runs, they hit 4 home runs, we hit 4 doubles, they hit 4 doubles. So it was really, a back and forth affair, I guess. So to lose one on Friday didn't feel great, especially, as well as we performed offensively. But for our guys to bounce back and win a 1-run game, I think 8-7 on Saturday with the same elements, I thought we pitched better. We swung the bats really well all weekend, which is great to see. We've got so many different moving parts right now, I think, within our lineup. So to see some guys go out and really simplify, I felt like our approach, and did a good job getting on time to some fastballs and drove some fastballs, and we slugged a little bit, which we have been, not doing, across the board as we have in the past. So some really good signs there, I think, as we jump in. This is week 6 in Division I baseball. So hope the bats are starting to turn for us there. I've been pleased with our pitching for the most part, and the defense has given us a shot to win the majority of the games we've been in. So it was great to see.
And over those 4 games, you've had 4 games with home runs. That's pretty impressive. But it's a lot of the clutch hitting coming in at times where you might need a run. A lot of guys have been stepping up offensively for that. How good does that see to be able to see different players kind of step up into that role and take advantage of it?
Yeah, I think in our sport right now, Division I baseball, there's a power component to it. I think the team that slugs the most normally wins. The team that's got the best power arms is going to give themselves a chance to win. We've got some. The weather hasn't been real conducive to slug early in the year. Maybe some of the venues we've been in. It was conducive to that on Friday and Saturday, with the wind. So there'll be a balance there. But really, I think, we haven't gone a spell. We just haven't had some quality at bats and had guys on base. There was a run there where, to your point, we just weren't getting maybe a timely hit with 2 outs or that backbreaker hit that we call them here. So we did this weekend, and it was a variety of guys throughout the weekend. So I do think we've got some depth in our lineup, and getting guys kind of that monkey off the back maybe. Baseball's it's a weird sport, man. Like some guys, it finds you. You put a new guy in a certain position and the ball's hit to him first thing, or the guy that may be struggling the most at that moment seems to come up with the bases loaded quite often. It's just a law of averages. If you watch the game, eventually it's hard to go 0 for whatever with the bases loaded, or 0 for whatever with 2 outs. So eventually it lines up, but sometimes you just got to get over that. So hopefully our guys got some of that experience this weekend, and when it was needed here at home to win our second WAC series.
And talking about winning that second WAC series, that's a really good way to start the year. That's exactly how you want to do it. How good does it feel to be able to kind of start the WAC play as strong as you guys have?
Yeah, I think series wins are critical. I think not just for the win itself, but also for the tiebreaker at the end of the year. I think the way our tournament is scheduled now, like 5, 6, 7, 8 play Tuesday, 3 and 4 on Wednesday, and then if you're 1 or 2, you're playing Thursday. So I think there's some things to play for. Each game matters, so they all matter the same, whether it's home or away. But you want to take care of business at home. anytime you can win a series on the road like we did last week at Tarleton's is going to come back to being gold. I think other than Grand Canyon last week, we were the only team that won our road series. So as we play this thing out over the next 8 weeks in conference, I told our team yesterday, they'll finding a way to win yesterday is going to be that's going to be a big deal probably moving forward, hopefully. But no, 4-2's great, good. Certainly wish we were 6-0, but we're not. Maybe we had some opportunities to be that. So we'll see what this week holds. We'll be back on the road. We're at Texas Tech tomorrow. We'll jump on our first flight together and play Sac State, who's traditionally a really strong power in baseball in our league. So our hands are going to be full again this week.
And you guys are going into another top 25 matchup over at Texas Tech. That's a West Texas matchup right there. Talk about getting some more of that really potentially postseason experience over there at Texas Tech.
Yeah, it's always great to jump on the bus and go play the Red Raiders, man. Everybody knows them here in Abilene. There's a bunch of red and black in our community. So, my son's in 7th grade, so he gets hit with all the Red Raider fans and stuff as we go back and forth. So having a chance to go over there and play well is important for us and our community, I think. So our guys, we've won there in the past when they were ranked. So I think we'll have a confident bunch that jumps on the bus tomorrow. But first pitch is thrown, none of that matters. Whoever plays the best tomorrow will have a chance to win the game. So hope we can go over there and get off to a good start and do the simple things real well, to line us up to hopefully have a shot to win the game at the end. You're right, Tadlock and them do a really good job. They're going to have some really good players. I know they've been in the top 25 pretty much all year, so I'm not sure where they are this morning, but we'll try to get organized and ready for them and jump on the bus. And our shortest road trip of the year is 2 hours and 15 minutes to Lubbock, so we like that one. But a 6:30 start tomorrow.
And they're going on Sac State. It's been a couple of good matchups in the last few years between you guys. Talk about going on the road. Like you said, your first plane ride, technically. What do you want to see your team respond, especially with changing time zones, all those different changes when it comes to that kind of play?
Yeah, it's challenging for us, I think, being here in West Texas, to fly out of Dallas and head west, so it's 3 hours east, jump on a flight to head west. We can't fit on a charter flight here in Abilene, so we've got to take our group to Dallas. So there's always some travel logistic nightmares, I think, for our coaching staff, and the time's an issue. But I think we got a resilient group, and this is one of a few trips we get to make out there, so we're going to have to get used to it and accustomed to it to play. So I've never been to Sac State, so this will be my first time. I don't know that anyone on our staff has, so it'll be a first-time experience for us. Reggie does a great job there. Again, they've traditionally had some really talented players and people, and they've got a guy leading our league in home runs right now. So haven't dove deep into what they're going to have over the weekend, but I do know everyone in our league is very, very similar in some ways. I think everyone's got their own brand and style, but you're going to have to play well to win each time out. So the same will hold true this week. So we've got 4 games on the road. So hopefully we'll continue to grow a little bit closer together and find a way to win. Last week was 3-1, so we'd love to stack that together again.
How do you find these guys, and why do they make such an impact like that?
Yeah, two different spectrums. Gino's a grad transfer from a Division II school, has provided immediate impact. He's been the 3 or 4 hole for us since day one, and Gino's very steady, man. He can do a couple things defensively, third and first, which gives us some flexibility. He's put together some really good at-bats. He's driven the baseball as well. So he's a really good baseball player that's going to help us win some games this year for sure. Brett Lamb, the opposite, true freshman. Lovejoy High School. Brett's going to be a really good player. If you said, hey man, 10 years from now, where's Brett Lamb? And I wouldn't be surprised if he's pitching in the big league spring training game right now. I think he's going to have a chance to do that. The cool part about Brett yesterday, and I mentioned this to our team, he walked the leadoff guy. Their guy got a double off of him, so it's second and third, nobody out. Quirky, wild pitch, errant throw, 2-run score. So it's 2-0 before we get an out in the first. He retired the next 18 hitters, 10 via strikeout. So I think when you look at that, for him just to kind of settle in and not really let kind of a weird baseball play and a Sunday when this is for the series. I think he grew up. He's a mature young man. He's not a kid for sure. If you've seen Brett, he's a full-blown man. He's a big dude. So no, it's been great to see him. Just kind of settle into that role on Sunday, and we feel pretty good when he's on the mound.
And as a recruiter, how does it feel to be able to find these guys from different classes, and how does it feel to watch them produce like that for your team?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the credit goes to Blaze and Daniel and Casey in terms of just relationships they get with guys, whether that's coaches at other places, and then that develops into the player, the student-athlete relationship. So they've done a great job of getting a good group of guys here. Again, it's in this world now, it's plug and play. Brett Garcia was a pitcher of the week last week. That's a grad transfer from Baylor. Logan Britt was one of our best players last year that actually traveled yesterday with Anaheim Angels in a spring training game with the big league club. So he was a transfer from A&M. So we've had some success with guys plugging and play. I think it starts. I would like to think it starts with the guys that are returning too, though. The Millers and the Genos and the Jack Nielsen's and Austin Glazes. Some of those guys that have been here 2 or 3 years, and they understand what the ACU baseball culture needs to be about. So I think we can bring in some guys that are young and old, and let those guys settle into a baseball program, get comfortable, and hopefully perform to the best of their ability. So it's been neat to see Gino's emergence here right out of the chute. Hitters hit, good hitters can hit wherever they're at. I think he's a good hitter. And then Brett's, obviously, he's got some arm talent for sure, but to be able to do what he's done to this point, as a true freshman, has been great to see.
You're very confident in your lineup. I believe 26 runs were scored in that series against UTA, and 4 hitters are hitting over 300. From Zant Payne to Ben Greer, how is that offense producing like that?
Yeah, it was great. So Ben jumped in this weekend and jumped right off the bat. We talked to our guys a ton about, working while you wait. There's some times where guys, for whatever reason, may not get a chance that they deserve early in a year. Ben's one of those guys probably. Ben's very athletic, probably the most utility type player that we have, can really play anywhere on the field, switch hitter, can do some things with the bat. So it's great to see him jump right in yesterday. He actually robbed a 2-run homer, 2 in right field, which is a big play for us. So he's played third, short, second, left, right. He's done a lot of things in his time here. He missed last year with an injury. So to see him jump out there and get rewarded, we don't win the game yesterday if he's not in the lineup. So I think you can probably look at our lineup and say each guy's had a day to this point. Now what we want as a team is to get 1 through 9 collectively to play their best game together. And that's really hard to do. But to see a guy like Ben jump in, Jack Nielsen had a really good day yesterday, impacted the weekend offensively, defensively, as he always does. So there's been some guys that'll jump in here, I'm sure, as we push down the middle to end of the year, that will continue to add value and hopefully help us win some games.
And then last question, back on the road, how does this team continue playing like they have?
Yeah, we'll try to take it 3-1 last week. You can do that the rest of the way. I think we all get to where we want to be. We'll have our backs against the wall anytime you go to Lubbock. I think they're pretty good at home. So we'll need to go up there and play well tomorrow and compete at a very high level. And then, like I said, Sac State. So I think it always starts on the mound. It always, falls to defense pretty soon after, and then the timely hitting that we touched on a little bit earlier. So those are the 3 components that we'll have to do real well to have some success this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.